Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. This is the pre-show mantra. We'll get into the show momentarily. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be rich. I deserve to be wealthy. I deserve to be free. The more you learn, the more you earn. The stock market is a machine, and I'm more than capable of operating this machine. Let's get into it, y'all. Yesterday, NVIDIA took a 4% hit yesterday. Man. Yesterday, NVIDIA dropped 4%, y'all. And right now, the eyes of the world are on Switzerland. Trump just wrapped up his address in Davos, and the headlines are moving the tape in real time. He's doubling down on Greenland tariffs and calling the Board of Peace the new replacement for the UN. If you want to know why the dollar is surging and tech is sliding, stay tuned. I'm Matt Riches, and we're breaking it down live here on the show. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're tuning in from around the globe. I'm your host, Matt Riches. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast, and welcome to the family. This is a live market breakdown covering $1 trillion stocks, SPX, the NASDAQ 100, SPY, and the Qs. If you're here to build generational wealth and master these markets, drop a trillion in the comments right now. We're covering pre-market levels, opening bell moves, and every headline associated with our $1 trillion giants. Today we're diving into the charts, checking the pulse on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I'm bringing a brand new segment from Robert Greene's The Daily Laws to keep mindsets sharp as our trades. But first, let's look how the world handed us the baton. The Asian session yesterday, while we were sleeping, Asia led the total Sell America trade. The Nikkei fell nearly 1% as investors dumped U.S. tech and piled into gold, which hit record highs in Tokyo as everyone braced for the Davos drama. And then they passed the baton to London. And once the baton hit Europe, the London session, which is, the Europe trade, it's been a sea of red. The German DAX is down 1% as the Greenland tariff threat is no longer a rumor. It's the headline. Gold is steady at 4,700 as London moves to total safety. The energy is defensive and is coming straight for the New York Open. Here's 5 quotes from Davos from Trump. He said, on Greenland, no nation can secure Greenland other than the U.S. If Europe blocks the transfers, the 10% tariffs will begin next month. On inflation, Biden had the biggest inflation in history, but we brought it down to normal numbers. America is booming. On the UN, the Board of Peace might eventually make the UN obsolete. We need a system that actually settles wars. On Venezuela, I'm loving Venezuela right now. The oil companies are getting ready for massive investments there. On energy, we are unlocking the liquid gold under our feet. I'm demanding interest rates drop as oil prices fall. All right, so remember on Twitter yesterday, Zay had posted those 2 books. I actually bought one of the books. This one is from Robert Greene. It's called The Daily Destiny. So 366 meditations to keep your day good. So this is a new segment I'll be adding to the show. So it says, depending on yourself gives you power. Depending on others puts you in a subservient and vulnerable position. In this market, if you're waiting for a notification to tell you when to buy, you're in a state of misery. We show up at 6:15 to build the skill so we can depend on our own eyes. Stop the dependency, build the power. Wow. That is crazy that is the first quote that we read from the book. And it actually goes great with this show. And it goes great for me needing to step up my stock market knowledge even more. And I think I've been doing that by doing this show. But that means that I need to lean less on Market Mondays and Trapping Tuesdays and lean more into my own research. So I think that quote is very fitting for me in my investing journey. I think it's time for me to step it up even more, and I will do that. And you see how the universe works? This is the first law that we're reading out the new book, and it's exactly what I needed to hear. So shout out Robert Greene, and I definitely got to do that. All right. This next segment we call in the Crypto Corner, where we check out. Actually, let's not get into that just yet. Let me go ahead and give me 1 second, y'all. I gotta get into these pre-market levels. That's what we gotta do next. We'll get into the Crypto Corner soon. All right. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and hit record for the iHeartRadio listeners and for the Spotify listeners. Shout out to iHeartRadio and Spotify. We are live on there. We are live on YouTube and TikTok. Let's get into these market caps, y'all. So the most valuable company in the world, NVIDIA, $4.3 trillion market cap, followed by Google, $3.8 trillion, Apple, $3.6 trillion, Microsoft, $3.3 trillion, Amazon, $2.4 trillion, TSM, $1.69 trillion, AVGO, $1.57 trillion, Meta, $1.52 trillion, Tesla, $1.39 trillion, and Berkshire Hathaway, $1.04 trillion, y'all. All right, let's get into these pre-market levels. NVIDIA, pre-market low, 177.92. Pre-market high, 180.55. Google, pre-market low, 318.20. Pre-market high, 322.29. Apple, pre-market low, 244.87. Pre-market high, 247.99. Microsoft, pre-market low, 451.49. Pre-market high, 456.89. Amazon, pre-market low, 229.71. Pre-market high, 232.53. TSM, pre-market low, 329.80. Pre-market high, 334.21. AVGO, pre-market low, 333.03. Pre-market high, 337.88. Meta, pre-market low, 603.15. Pre-market high, 608.64. Tesla, pre-market low, 417.55. Pre-market high, 424.27. Berkshire.B, pre-market low, 483.50. Pre-market high, 485.68. The VIX is coming back down, y'all. Remember, the VIX had broke 20 yesterday. The VIX is coming back down into this gap, y'all. The VIX is currently at 1850. SPY pre-market low 675.88, pre-market high 680.94. QQQ pre-market low 605.50, pre-market high 610.95. SPX pre-market low 6,780, pre-market high 6,830. The NAS 100 pre-market low 24,868, pre-market high 25,108. And I decided to add a few more tickers on here, y'all. So I'm adding gold on here since gold is hitting all-time highs. So I figured I needed to add gold on here. Gold is at 446 right now, y'all. It is gapped up from yesterday. And the micro gold, if you want to buy that, you don't want to pay that high price of over $400 a share, you can buy the micro one for $96 a share. It also gapped up. And gold's current price is $4,861 per ounce, y'all. All right. So let's get into the crypto corner. So Bitcoin is at 89,300. The bear case is if we hit 81K. If not, 90K will be reclaimed. The bull case says this is just a great shakeout before the next leg up. Oh, the bear case says we're going to hit 81,000 if we don't reclaim 90,000. Excuse me. All right. Let's get ready for the market open, y'all. Got 10 seconds. Woo, let's get it, y'all. Let's get it. Market open, market open, market open. Let's go, y'all. The market is open. January 21st, 2026. 6:15 a.m. y'all. We are in California, the Bay Area, y'all. Let's get it. Market open. Let's check out these tickers. Let's see how we doing. Yesterday was a terrible day in the market. Very bloody day in the market. But let's see how we doing today. All right. NVIDIA, the most valuable company in the world, is up over 0.5% at 179.22, y'all. Let me go on a 1-minute chart so you can really see the movement. All right, Google is down fractionally at 321.50. Apple is up over 0.5% at 248.25. Microsoft is down almost 1% at 450.55. Amazon is up fractionally at 231.13. TSM is up over 1% at 330.30. AVGO is up almost 0.25% at 333.23. Meta is down almost 0.25% at 603. Tesla is up almost 0.5% at 421.28. Berkshire.B is up fractionally at 486.68. The VIX is at 1850, y'all. SPY is up over 0.25% at 679.66. QQQ is up fractionally at 608.97. SPX is up almost 0.25% at 6,815. And the NAS 100 is up fractionally at 25,014, y'all. Gold is up over 2.25% at 447.26. The gold mini is up same amount, except it only costs 96.32, y'all. And the gold per ounce costs $4,864, y'all. All right, so while I get into this next segment, I'm going to put all these charts on the screen so you can see them. So at the top, we have NVIDIA. To the right, we have Google, Apple, Microsoft. Underneath NVIDIA, we have Amazon. To the right, we have TSM, AVGO, and Meta Platforms. We did have some earnings pre-market. So we had Halliburton beat on earnings by a lot, and they beat on revenue. So Halliburton beat on the top and bottom. It's the star of the pre-market. They crushed earnings by over 25% over the estimates. Their international revenue grew 1.5%, while North America dipped slightly, proving the global demand for liquid gold is the engine right now. The stock is reacting positively to this double beat. And Johnson & Johnson, they missed on earnings, but they beat on revenue. Johnson & Johnson is a mixed bag for today. They took a 10-cent hit because of acquisition of Halda Therapeutics. They're spending money to buy future growth, but the market is focused on the miss right now. The stock opened around 218. Watch that level. And our last earnings is from the financial sector. It's Charles Schwab. So Schwab came right in line at 139 as far as earnings. And then on revenue, they beat on revenue. So Schwab pulled off a solid quarter despite the chaos. They hit a record $6.3 billion in revenue, up 19% year over year. Even though the numbers are good, the stock is struggling with a 1.5% dip because their expenses also jumped 4%. The stock market is being picky today. They want growth without the extra cost, y'all. All right. Let's see. All right, let's check out some more news, y'all. All right. This comes from Stanley Druckenmiller. Let's check out what he had to say about portfolios.
Well, my idea of risk control is a little non-conventional. I like putting all my eggs in one basket and then watching the basket very carefully. I think, I don't know what they teach at Marshall, but at most business schools they teach, I think, a lot of nonsense called risk-adjusted return and diversification. As a money manager, if you look at a normal portfolio, most people will make 70-80% of money that year on 2 or 3 ideas, even though they'll have 30 or 40 things in their portfolio. My concept was to put into those 2 or 3 ideas that I had the most conviction in. I was also lucky to travel across asset classes. So I traded commodities, currencies, bonds, and equities. And it gave me the discipline. If I didn't have a good idea in equities, I was happy to have no equities. Or the same thing with bonds. So when you have a quiver with a bunch of arrows in it, you can usually find something to put a lot of money into. The only other thing I'd say is too many investors look at the present. The present is already in the price. You have to think out of the box and sort of visualize 18 to 24 months from now what the world is going to be and what securities might trade at. You know, what a company's been earning is ridiculous. It doesn't mean anything. What you have to look at is what people think, what a company's earning, what people think it's going to earn. And if you can see something 2 years, it's going to be entirely different than the conventional wisdom. That's how you make money. My first boss used to say the obvious is obviously wrong. If you invest in conventional wisdom, you're going to lose your butt.
Ooh. He said, man, we ain't got to be diversified, man, because we know what we doing out here, man. We're going to pick the best companies and we're going to run it back up with that. Shout out Druckenmiller, man. Trump said he's the tariff. Excuse me. Trump said he's the tariff king and he's doing a great job. This next piece of news comes from Unusual Whales. Trump has used his U.S. presidency to make at least $1.4 billion. This is per the New York Times. He done made $1 billion, y'all. Almost 1.5. All right. Next, UBS today raised its price target on Meta platforms up to 915. Let me pull up Meta while we talk about it. Meta is currently at 602. So UBS raised its price target on Meta platforms to 915 from 830 while maintaining its buy rating. So it's on super discount right now if you want it, y'all. Meta. All right. UBS also made another price target adjustment. This one was for Google. So let me put Google on the screen. Google's current price is $322. UBS today raised its price target on Google up to $345 from $306 while maintaining its neutral rating, y'all. So they expect a lot of upside out of Meta and Google. All right. I thought this was interesting. Warren Buffett's 6 rules for money. Number 1, don't lose capital. Never lose money, and never forget this rule. Protecting capital is number 1. Recovery is harder than preservation. Wealth grows only if it has the base to be safe. Number 2, invest in what you understand. The rule is avoid hype. Stick to businesses you can explain simply. Why? Simplicity beats complexity. Understanding reduces risk. Clear logic leads to better decisions. Number 3, the power of compounding. Let time turn small amounts into big wealth. Small gains add up exponentially. Start early. That's a huge advantage. Interruptions kill growth. Number 4, be greedy when others are fearful. Crises bring the biggest opportunities. Panic creates discounts. Courage pays off long term. Contrarian mindsets build fortunes. Number 5, earn while you sleep. Build passive income or work forever. Time freedom is true wealth. Money should work harder than you. Passive income compounds 24/7. And number 6, learn every day. Invest in knowledge. It's your best asset. Knowledge compounds like money. Better insights equal smarter decisions. And no one can take knowledge away from you. Shout out Buffett for that game right there, y'all. All right. Let's check out the sectors. Let's see how the sectors are doing today. All right. XLK, our technology sector, is up 0.25% at 142.20. XLY, our consumer discretionary ETF, is up almost 0.5% at 119.54. XLC, our communications sector, it looks like it has filled the gap, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this gap off the screen. It is right about break even at 113.45. XLF, our financial sector, is up almost 1% at 53.70. XLV, our healthcare sector, is up over 0.25% at 155.84. XLP, our consumer staples, is down over 0.5% at 81.92. XLE is running, y'all. XLE, our energy sector, is up almost 3% at 48.92. And I believe it is, let me see, what is this red zone here? This red zone is our daily supply. So if XLE can break through this supply zone and not get rejected, then it will be heading to all-time highs. It might happen today. It looks like it will. We'll check back on this tomorrow, y'all, and see. Oh, look what happened. At the top of the supply zone, it's starting to reject. So maybe it won't happen today. We'll see. The market just opened. We'll see. We'll check back on that later. All right, XLU, our utility sector, is up fractionally at $43. XLI, our industrial sector, is up over 0.5% at 164.60. XLB, our materials ETF, is up almost 1.5% at 48.90. And XLRE, our real estate sector, is up over 0.5% at 41.62, y'all. All right. Remember, Netflix had earnings yesterday. So let me read a summary right quick if you are interested in Netflix. Let me put Netflix on the screen while I read this. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. Shout out to everybody that's going to listen later on Spotify and iHeartRadio. Netflix is currently trading at $83.64. All right, so this was from the earnings call. We set internal goals to double revenue and triple profits. And when we set those goals, M&A, which is mergers and acquisitions, was not included. Since then, we've seen modestly better growth. So we think we are making good progress, and the opportunity ahead of us is massive. We are seeing increasing competition, which is changing with innovation. That is nothing new for us, though. We are as energized as ever to entertain the world. We don't expect our content in 2026 to be as back-end loaded as last year, but that means higher year-over-year content expense growth in the first half of 2026. We saw member growth, improved churn year-over-year, and customer satisfaction at an all-time high. This reflects our focus on delivering value, which directly translates into revenue growth. We really weren't looking for M&A, but when we began to do our due diligence on Warner Brothers, we got really excited. They have a television business that complements ours very well, and they have a well-run theatrical business. They also have a premium online streaming service, and this all leads to a very good and very achievable opportunity for us. We really see it as an accelerator for our growth strategy, with the added benefit of complementary scale TV and film studio with over 100 years of deep content and IP. Shout out to Netflix, y'all. This next piece of news comes from Business Insider. Michael Burry says the U.S. government won't be able to save the tech boom, the stock market, or the economy from disaster. Michael Burry, always bullish, man. Always bearish, excuse me. Always bearish, man. Come on, Burry. But that's good, though. If everybody bullish, then a crash probably gonna come out of nowhere. But as long as we got some contrarians, then I think that's very good. All right, this next clip comes from NVIDIA CEO. It's at the World Economic Forum. Short clip.
My only regret was at the IPO. After the IPO, I wanted to buy my parents something nice, and so I sold NVIDIA stock at a valuation of $300 million. The company was at a valuation of $300 million, and I bought them a Mercedes S-Class. It is the most expensive car in the world. They regret it. They still have it? Oh, sure. Yeah, they still have it. Yeah.
Pay attention. He said when the NVIDIA's IPO, the company was worth $300 million, and he sold some shares to buy his parents a Mercedes S-Class. So if he didn't sell those shares, how much would the shares be worth? That's why he said that's the most expensive car ever. But he said they still have the car. And how long ago was the IPO? 20 years ago? I don't remember when NVIDIA's IPO was, but it wasn't any time recently. So they still have that car. So that says a lot. That says a lot that they still have that car. All right. This next piece of news comes from Walter Bloomberg. Christine Lagarde, president of European Central Bank, left a private Davos dinner during remarks by U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick that sharply criticized Europe's energy policies and economic competitiveness. The walkout occurred as Lutnick delivered sustained criticism of Europe, drawing mixed reactions from attendees. Some interpreted his remarks as a rebuttal to European leaders' public defenses of the bloc's unity and financial strength earlier at Davos. The ECB declined to comment. Lutnick's office did not respond to a request for comment. Dang, she straight walked out. She said, I ain't trying to hear that. Talking that dumb stuff. I'm out of here. Alright. This next clip comes from BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. This is also at the World Economic Forum.
We believe that outside the United Nations, this is the largest gathering of global leadership of the post-COVID period of time. For many people, this meeting feels out of step with the moment. We hear all about the elites. And how does that play out in an age of populism? How does an established institution make a difference in an era of deep institutional mistrust? And there's some truth to the critique. I believe in this forum for a long time. I certainly wouldn't be leading this if I didn't believe that we can change and make the world better. But it's also obvious that the world now places far less trust in us to help shape what comes next. If the World Economic Forum is going to be useful going forward, it has to regain that trust.
They lost the trust in the United States. Are we surprised? Are we surprised that they lost the trust in the United States? Trump been acting a fool. So we're not surprised. All right, let's check out some of our other tickers that we like to check out on the show. Outside of the $1 trillion tickers. AMD. AMD is up 4%, y'all. At 241.27. Bitcoin is at 89,400. IBIT is down fractionally at $50.67. Ethereum is still under 3,000. Ethereum is at 2,968. BMNR is down almost 1% at 27.99. Palantir is down almost a little over 0.5% at 167.55. Hood is up 0.5% at 106.34. Grab is down 1.5% at 444. XLG is up 0.25% at 57.61. It's right back at that 5% off price, y'all. All right. The Danish, this is from Bar Chart on Twitter. The Danish pension fund to dump entire $100 million U.S. Treasury position by the end of January. Okay. They manage about $25 billion for academics. They plan to fully exit their $100 million U.S. Treasury position by January's end due to concerns over America's growing budget shortfall. The decision aligns with escalating U.S.-Denmark tensions as President Trump renewed push to acquire Greenland, a Danish territory, raises geopolitical risk for Danish investors. Despite the post's alarmist tone, the divestment equals just 0.00036% of the $28 trillion U.S. Treasury market, posing no measurable impact on yields or broader sentiment, but it's $100 million, so it made the news.
We believe that outside...
Oh, excuse me. We're just going to delete these as we say them. Alright. Oh. TD Cowen lowered its price target on Microsoft to $625. Let's check it out. Where's Microsoft sitting at right now? Microsoft is at $450 right now. But TD Cowen lowered its price target on Microsoft to $625, down from $655, while maintaining its buy rating, y'all. That's crazy that it had a price target at $655 and it's only $450 right now. They just brought it down a little bit. Trump said he'll give out $2,000 tariff dividend checks whether Congress likes it or not. He said he don't need Congress. He'll give it out. He ain't tripping. All right. Let's check out the Fear and Greed Index. See where we at. We were in greed. I'm sure we're not in greed anymore. We are in neutral, y'all. The Fear and Greed Index is in neutral. We are at 50, y'all. Major pullback yesterday. Who bought some stocks yesterday on that super sell-off red day? All right, this next clip comes from Palantir CEO Alex Karp. He be talking that talk, so let's see what he had to say.
Enterprises in general, not all enterprises, tend to want to, over time, become like every other enterprise. So if you take five, A enterprise and B enterprise and C enterprise, they're in the same market. Their tech infrastructure is trying to make them into the same enterprise. They have the same org chart.
Sure.
They have presumably roughly the same, they don't have the same data infrastructure. And what you learn on the battlefield is that, and in life is that's not particularly valuable. What is very valuable is an enterprise can do something no enterprise in the world can do. And so that is the goal of every single military intelligence service. In fact, all these intelligence services and militaries have their own specialization. And so when we went to commerce, like what we're saying is, how can we make your insurance cover the way you underwrite? How can we make that to your tribal knowledge about underwriting? How can we transform this to knowledge everyone has to a knowledge only you have and with efficiencies that no one else has? So as an example, on the battlefield, one of the most important issues is how do you acquire data, process it, and then put it into a framework where it can be actioned, either from an intelligence perspective. Yeah. So just obviously, what does a business do? In the end of the day, what is a business doing? I mean, it is, so for example, especially in anything underwriting, banking, hospital intakes.
It's information.
It's information. It's sorting the information in a way that you have a distinct advantage over other people who are similarly situated, and that advantage can't be eviscerated easily.
He said that at the World Economic Forum. Yeah, man, I want to buy some shares of Palantir, y'all. I want to buy some shares of Palantir.
Enterprises and...
Oh, excuse me. All right, next. Wells Fargo is moving its headquarters of its wealth management business from San Francisco to West Palm Beach, Florida, making it the first major bank to base its wealth unit there. They said they out of here. We ain't paying all these taxes. We out to Florida. All right. The next piece of news comes from Dan Ives. Oh, this was based on what happened yesterday in the market. It says, on weakness yesterday, we will be buying many of our Ives AI 30 names, including NVIDIA, Microsoft, Palantir, Crowd, Nebius, Apple, PanW, Google, and Tesla. The back and forth war of words between Trump and the EU will give investors another opportunity to buy the tech winners, and despite the bears always trying to yell fire in a crowded theater, the AI revolution is still in the early days of playing out, y'all. They said they bought more shares, y'all. They bought more shares during yesterday's discount. Did you buy any shares? Because a lot of stuff was on sale, y'all. All right. Let's check out some motivation. This is some motivation from IG, y'all.
The other day I was reading a book, and there was a passage that said, once you realize the power of your thoughts, you won't just think anything. Once you realize the power of your words, you won't just say anything. And once you realize the power of your presence, you won't just be anywhere.
Ooh, let that sit for a minute. Let me run that back since it was so short but so deep.
The other day I was reading a book, and there was a passage that said, once you realize the power of your thoughts, you won't just think anything. Once you realize the power of your words, you won't just say anything. And once you realize the power of your presence, you won't just be anywhere.
That was deep. Salute to that brother.
It is the guys with the AI businesses. Let me tell you, 10 years...
Oh, excuse me. Let me set this up. So this African brother was dropping some knowledge about who the future leaders of Africa will be financially. So I thought this was very interesting.
It is the guys with the AI businesses. Let me tell you, 10 years from now, sitting here, you can call me a prophet. The wealthiest Africans 10 years from now will not be the Dangotes and the Masiwas of this world. It will be a young people who are sitting right now in their bedrooms and in their workshops building AI applications for agriculture, for health sector, for food security. That is what is happening. And ours is only to encourage, to inspire them, and to tell them that they can do it and they're unstoppable. It is the guys with the AI business.
Ooh, they finna take over. Yes, yes. We are in the beginning of AI. Everybody got a chance to learn it. It's up to us to benefit from it, from the new revolution, y'all. Oh, check out this humanoid robot taking a jog. If you on TikTok, you can't see this, but if you are on my YouTube, you can see it. It's on the screen.
This thing can go for hours.
They say this humanoid robot can jog for hours. That's crazy. Alright. Check this out.
You know why most people stay broke? They spend money to look rich instead of investing to become rich. Real wealth is quiet, it's boring, it's saving when you want to spend. Discipline now, freedom later. Or pleasure now, struggle forever. You know?
Ooh, OG dropping game to the youngsters, man. Alright. Let me run these numbers right quick. Let's see where we at, y'all. $1 trillion tickers. NVIDIA is up 1.5% at 180.75. Google is up almost 1% at 324.89. Apple is up almost 0.25% at 247. Microsoft is down over 0.5% at 451. Amazon is up 0.25% at 231. TSM is up 0.75% at 329. AVGO is up 0.25% at 333. Meta is up fractionally at 605. Tesla is up 1.25% at 424. Berkshire.B is up fractionally at 485. The VIX is still dropping, y'all. The VIX is in the gap. It still got a long way to go. It'll be halfway in the gap at 1747. It's gone as low as 1796, but the VIX is currently at $18, y'all. SPY is up almost 0.75% at 682. QQQ is up at 612. SPX is up at 6,847. The NASDAQ 100 is up 25,184. Gold is trading at 447, y'all. And the gold minis is trading at $96. And gold is trading at $4,863 an ounce, y'all. All right. Let's check out some of our other ETFs we like to look at. Dow Jones ETF, very close to all-time highs. It's up over 0.5% at 488. IWM, the Russell 2000, y'all, is up over 1.25% at 266. SPYM is up almost 0.75% at $80. QQQM is up almost 0.75% at 252. SPYG is up over 0.5% at 105. SOXQ is up 2.25% at 62.78. TQQs is up over 2% at 51.80. SOXL, the triple leveraged, is up over 7% at 62.06. SOXX is up over it's almost up 2.5% at 345. SMH is up almost 2% at 398. XLG is up almost 0.5% at 57.72. The IVES 30, we was talking about them earlier, they're up 1% at 32.41. SPYI 52.05. And QQQI 53.14, y'all. I'm still holding, y'all. Let me show you this. Let me go to the daily. Oh my goodness. This looks terrible. But it is what it is. Let me put these gaps on here. So we had gap down with all this volatility thanks to Trump. Look at that gap. Look at that gap, y'all. So it looks like I'll be waiting for another dividend. Okay. So the dividend date, the ex-dividend date is today. So I'll be getting another dividend, y'all. I was not able to sell my dividend. So as you can see, I bought this on Tuesday, December 23rd. I got paid my dividend on Friday, the 26th. And it has not reached my entry, so I'm still holding. So today is the ex-dividend date. So I will be getting paid on Friday the 23rd. And then I have to wait for a price to go back up to $55. With price falling, with all this Greenland tariff talk, yeah, the Qs have been falling, so I'm still in this trade, y'all. But I did get another dividend, so I'll be checking out my account. All right, I think that's it, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll be back live tomorrow in the pre-market. Let me know what y'all think about the new segments that we added, the crypto corner and the daily meditation from Robert Greene, and how we talked about what happened in the Asian session and the London session in the overnight. Let me know if that added value to the show. I think it did. And appreciate y'all for tuning in. Shout out to everybody on TikTok Live, YouTube Live. Shout out to everybody that's going to listen on Spotify and iHeartRadio as soon as I upload the broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. We'll be back tomorrow. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.